Nintendo finally acknowledges F-Zero with a 99 Battle Royale. Is it a gas or a crash and burn? And is Final Fantasy XVI worth buying to PlayStation 5? This and more with Play and Tell. So welcome back guys to another episode of Play and Tell. I'm your host Xander Skullion, and it's a series where I talk about games I've been playing, leave little short impressions, mini reviews, and most importantly, when you walk away, you have something new to play. And guys, I think we can all agree that in 2023, there is no shortage of games to play. There have been so many fantastic games that have came out this year. It's been a great year to be a gamer. So what I want to do is I want to ask you guys, because we're already in September. We all know October, November, December only last 3 weeks. I'm going to ask you guys, leave a comment below. Tell me what is your game of the year so far, because I definitely have some contenders, and there's still so many games that came out this year I haven't even played yet. Now, I briefly had a little hiatus. I was in the process of moving, and I have to give a monstrous Xtreme shout out and thank you to the folks at WayForward, because during my break, they were sending me some games to review, and I'm so glad and happy to talk about it in this episode. WayForward recently brought their Game Boy Color classic Xtreme Sports to the Nintendo Switch. It was originally released in the year 2000, and this Xtreme Sports title took me on a nostalgic journey. You can get it now on the Nintendo eShop for just $9.99. In Xtreme Sports, you play as Guppy or her boyfriend Finn, embarking on a quest to become the Xtreme Sports champion on Xtreme Island. And you have the following events: skateboarding, race through courses performing tricks and flips and conquer the half pipe for more points. Street luge, navigate a vertically scrolling obstacle course, gaining speed, launch off ramps and avoid hazards. You also have surfing, where you ride massive waves, perform tricks, collect stars, and dodge enemies. Then there's inline skating, race against time, grinding the rails, jumping over obstacles, and finding the best route. And the last event is skyboarding. Leap from a plane, collect arrows, perform tricks as you plummet through the clouds. While you're not competing for these events, you can also explore the tropical island for secret paths and hidden challenges in this unique blend of sports, action, adventure with a little bit of RPG elements. This port of Xtreme Sports is absolutely amazing. Using Limited Run's Carbon engine, the game retains its original Game Boy charm, and the menu and the options allows you to adjust the screen size, apply a filter for a nostalgic feel, change borders, save states, and the port also runs smoothly and faithfully captures the essence of the original. If you are a fan of the original game, you'll more than likely enjoy Xtreme Sports on the Switch. However, if you haven't played it before, consider a few factors. The game's graphics and sound really hold up, and you have over 400 competitors to challenge. The nostalgia factor is strong and just fits that whole aesthetic vibe. On the downside, the gameplay can be challenging somewhat due to the tricky controls. While there are only 5 sports, the gameplay can get kind of repetitive. But overall, Xtreme Sports is a great and solid nostalgic experience that's well worth a look, especially for fans of the original. It's a time capsule of the 90s and early 2000s, and again, it's only available for $9.99 on the Nintendo eShop. Last year, I was fortunate enough to live stream and review Dawn of Monsters from 13am Games and WayForward, and this is a love letter to the kaiju genre. It really makes you think of War of Monsters meets, those old Godzilla games that we used to play, but they just recently came out with some DLC and a new update. You guys gotta check this out. This DLC pack is a true game changer, offering a fresh experience in 2 ways: a brand new arcade mode and also a fan-voted new character. Plus, it comes with 50 new character skins and extra gallery and archive content. I think it's a pretty fantastic deal for just $6.99. The new character is no ordinary addition. It's a colossal robotic marvel, reminiscent of the legendary Megazord from the Power Rangers series, Meteor Tomagen, who boasts a unique set of skills using oversized weapons for devastating attacks. Mastering this character also means exploring the skills and creating immersive combos, and in campaign mode you can also customize using the DNA system. But wait, there's more! The arcade mode also offers a fresh way to experience Dawn of Monsters. Say goodbye to story distractions and enjoy pure monster mayhem as you face 11 challenging stages testing your might in limited lives. And if you want that added challenge, consider a roguelike twist. Each stage, choose an upgrade to gain that edge for future battles. You can go in with a fixed upgrade for a planned approach or randomize for unpredictability. With multiple difficulty options, the challenge is yours to customize. In summary, the Arcade Edition DLC is a game changer for devoted fans of Dawn of the Monsters. But hey, if you're a newcomer, you'll also benefit with this new free update that includes exciting gameplay trials, additional new gameplay plus modes, and Japanese voice and text options. It's a perfect way to dive into Dawn of Monsters, and the Arcade DLC offers an extended, thrilling adventures without breaking the bank. Gravity Circuit is a flashy, action-packed 2D platformer in the spirit of console classics like Mega Man. You follow Kai, a lone operative war hero who harnesses the powers of the Gravity Circuit on an adventure in a fantastic world inhabited by evil robots. The heart of this game really lies in the combat. Serving as the main attraction, much like a satisfying meal at your favorite Chinese buffet, you're presented with a plethora of moves and skill sets. Abilities are unlocked by defeating former comrades, but scattered throughout each level are civilian robots that you must rescue to help him further Kai's skills and abilities. Using those power chips, you can unlock capabilities as like invincibility during dashing, extended range attacks, and even absorbing health. The additional layer of challenge really spices up the gameplay and adds a lot of depth. Unlike the Blue Bomber, Kai doesn't rely on a buster cannon. Instead, he engages in exciting combos and utilizes a grappling hook. This versatile tool not only aids in platforming, but also allows you to snag hard-to-reach items and use it to whip defeated robot adversaries, creating a unique playstyle that engages in offense over defense. Additionally, you also have skills to unlock for your burst meter, a collection of moves acquired by interacting with the NPCs in the hub stage and making purchases. You can equip up to 4 at a time and activate them by using the directional inputs and attack button. The meter does replenish gradually as you perform combos, so it's wise to use these abilities generously. Each stage offers numerous checkpoints where you can also restore your health, but this convenience comes at a cost at each time you meet your demise, so it's best to avoid that as much as possible. And of course, the cream of the crop of Gravity Circuit, in my opinion, is the boss fights. Each boss presents a unique pattern that reflects the corresponding stage, much like Mega Man. Now, some bosses may be proven more challenging than others, and each boss has a transform moment when the odds aren't in their favor. Now, when I was making my Final Fantasy tier list, I mentioned in that video that I was purposely leaving Final Fantasy XVI out because I was still in the process of playing it. Now, during my hiatus, not only did I beat Final Fantasy XVI, but I also beat Tears of the Kingdom, and to be honest, it's been a while since I've been able to talk about these games on the channel, and that may be kind of a good thing because the honeymoon period is over. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I beat a game, sometimes I get like really excited and I'll be like, man, that game was so amazing, it was so great. And then as time progresses and time goes on, the realization comes in and you start to really find the flaws and everything. But how is Final Fantasy XVI? It's great. It is great. And I was feeling so nostalgic playing Final Fantasy XVI, and here's why: because I had just bought a PlayStation 5. I kid you not, I bought a PlayStation 5 just to play the demo when it was first announced. I had to go ahead and jump on this next gen thing. And I got it, enjoyed it, played the game, and it was making me nostalgic because it was making me think of when I bought my PlayStation 2 and played Final Fantasy X for the first time. And to be honest, low-key, I have to be very honest with you guys, I haven't been this excited about a Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy X. Nothing against 11 through 14 or 15, shows you how much I think about 15, but nothing against those games. But I felt like after 10, the series changed, which was very interesting because Final Fantasy XVI is very different from the series itself. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks would even argue and say, this doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy, which, you know, if you're going into it expecting a turn-based RPG, then no, it is a Final Fantasy, but it is very Final Fantasy. And listen, I know the game's been out for a couple months, but I'm going to keep this very spoiler-free because maybe someone's watching this show and they're expecting to get Final Fantasy XVI for Christmas. It would make a great Christmas gift, just saying. But the story that follows Clive and him finding himself, coming to realization who he is as a person, finding out, you know, what happened to his brother, finding out what happens to these people who possess this magic gift. It's so Final Fantasy. There's so much I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it, but say the story is great. The only thing that I will say when it comes to story that I was not a big fan of is surprisingly the side quests, which maybe it's not surprising because a lot of folks have said in the past that side quests are kind of doo-doo in this game, but I didn't really care for the side quest simply because it was very fetchy and very samey. It'd be like, oh man, you know, so-and-so went to the fields and I hadn't seen them in a while. You go to the fields, they injured themselves, you got to kill a monster. Or, you know, they're trying to cross the bridge, there's monsters, you got to fight them. That was always the outcome. And, you know, there wasn't really a whole lot of story. There were some missions that kind of shoehorned the story in there, but you can go through the game without playing the side quests, trust me. The side quest in Final Fantasy XVI is a lot like crab legs. There's a lot of work for just a little bit of meat. The battle system is very snappy. It's a straight up action hack and slash. There is some strategy that goes with it. I do love the animations with the icons and the summons. It's a lot of fun. But the biggest thing that I love about the battle system was the kaiju battles, to be honest. Going back to kaiju like Dawn of the Monsters. I love giant monsters fighting each other, and there are so many of those kind of boss battles in Final Fantasy XVI that feel so cinematic, you forget you're playing the video game. This, honestly, is a great game to be introduced to the PlayStation 5, because again, no spoilers, but there's a boss battle that I was playing that the tone of the game kind of changes. I'll just give that little hint. The tone of the game changes. And there's this boss battle that honestly was probably one of the best boss battles I've ever played in a video game. That goes on the record right there. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy XVI, and I'm enjoying this new direction that the Final Fantasy series is going in. I mean, a matter of fact, Final Fantasy's always been going forward. That's what's always made the series so fresh, is, you know, you could play Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy IV, and while they may be very similar, there's enough differences that make them their own game and they have their own identity, and Final Fantasy XVI is no exception. Now, recently there was a Nintendo Direct, and one of the announcements I was really excited about was F-Zero 99. It's a new entry to these retrospective battle royale games. I'm a big fan of this, you know, subgenre. I enjoyed Pac-Man 99, Mario 35, I Miss You, and Tetris 99 was okay. It's a lot of fun, and admittedly, when it comes to the original F-Zero on the Super Nintendo, I'm not the biggest fan. I respect it for what it is. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the soundtrack. But if I had to think about my favorite SNES racer, that's going to go to Mario Kart. So to see this kind of being redeemed, going back to its roots and adding nuances to the F-Zero series, sign me up. Maybe asking yourself, 99 cars going at once, what's that like? It's absolutely amazing, and it's organized chaos. So that's right, folks. You guessed it. You're trying to race to number one. There's 98 other racers, and you're just trying to zip on. As you bump into enemies, you actually collect golden orbs. If you get enough of those orbs and get your skills set up, you can actually, what I call, transport to first class and just race above everyone. And that's, you know, where the game gets really tricky, because it goes into the balance of skill and chance, because you can memorize the maps, you can memorize them, but if someone uses a boost, or if they go above you, they can actually have the upper hand. Or if you get a little too cocky like I do and you try to boost too much and you start to overheat, someone can tail whip into you and it's game over. I had no idea I would enjoy this game as much as I have, and I've already been putting so many hours into it. And to be honest, it's not about being number one. I just like to go after my rivals, because this game actually pairs you up with other racers who have a very similar skill set, and if you beat them during the race, you level up and you can like add decals to your car, you can unlock extra tracks, you get tickets so you can compete in Ultimate Grand Prix. My only caveat is I hope this game stays live for a long time, or at least I hope they get a physical so folks can, preserve this game for years to come, because Mario 35, I loved it. It was a fantastic game, but unfortunately it had a very short lifespan, and I hope we don't see that with F-Zero 99. I hope this is just what's to come. Give us some DLC, keep it alive. Go play F-Zero 99. It's freaking awesome. But anyway, guys, those are some games I've been playing recently. What have you been playing? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and opinions on some of these titles. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, but also hit the bell so you're notified on all weekly content that comes out on this channel. Anyway, folks, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming.